Yo, today I'm going to be talking about the reason why plagues spread so fast. This is how I basically came up with this information. I was studying on the reasons of the effects of the plague spreading in a matter of days and killing thousands, even millions of people within weeks of spreading. And what I found was really disturbing because you can find this information in any biology book, high school biology, but if you bring it up to a doctor, they will pink slip you and basically send you to the mental hospital, which happened to a friend of mine before. There's a few diseases out. One's called Morgellons. There's a few other ones that people claim are parasites, eating them alive, flesh-eating bugs. So basically what it boils down to is that in every environment you have a chain of things that happen and things that rely on each other. It's no different than a plant that needs sun and water. It's the symbiotic relationship between parasites, viruses, and bacteria. Something that your modern doctor really has no idea how these things work. And this is basically how we get sick and how diseases are transferred on a daily basis. And there's a lot of things that have led up to this point that have made these parasites so what's the word, like so horrible. I mean, they're just everywhere. And one of the things is that when we started to use these pesticides, what most people don't know is that plants have their own immune systems. And these immune systems were built up over hundreds, even thousands of years that have their own pesticidal compounds inside of them that will ward off pests and diseases. And the clearest example is the apple tree. The apple tree has a very sweet fruit, so it has had lots of different pests and parasites and things that have been eating it and just killing it basically. So what's happened is the apple trees that have survived, this is a process called natural selection, were the ones that were able to evolve and develop these anti-parasitic compounds within the fruit that would keep them from being killed from these pests. So these were the only ones that survived, and the other ones that couldn't make these compounds died. Okay, so then we eat the fruit, then we get this into our system, these anti-parasitic compounds, and then we too are protected from these pests and these parasites that transfer disease and do all kinds of nasty things, you know. So what I found during my research was very disturbing, because on more than one level. Not only because doctors will basically throw you into a padded room if you mention it, but because of the fact that there is no vaccine, there is no medicine that was ever made to kill parasites or to treat humans for parasites. The one that is widely used in the veterinary world is called ivectimin. Okay, and this was developed for pig farmers because pigs have a very fast digestive system and they don't really kill parasites. So in order to make sure that people weren't getting sick from eating pigs, they made this medicine called ivectimin, which is still used today. It was developed, I believe, in the 20s or 30s, and it's still used today in heartworm medicine and other things for dogs and horses and things like that. And another thing I wanted to mention was the fact that we have peeling skin. Okay, and this is something that people probably don't think about. They don't even think about it at all. But the fact is that everything that we do, everything that we have has a purpose. So our skin, it peels because the same thing is natural selection. Same thing with the plants. We evolved, our bodies evolved to ward off something that was on our skin. So it would be like parasites digging into our skin. So that's the reason why humans evolved to have peeling skin. It's the same thing with a snake. They peel their skin to get rid of the parasites that dig into their scales. So even our bodies represent this fact that we are riddled with parasites through history. So for a doctor to deny the fact that parasites transfer disease is absolutely ridiculous. And if you ask me, they should be the ones sent to the padded room, because that's the most basic concept of biology you can imagine anyone knowing, because I worked in a vet hospital for a year or two, and that's the first thing we learn is that especially with exotic animals, you have to treat them for parasites right away, because if you don't, these parasites can infect other animals and even you, and whatever disease they're carrying, you're going to get. So this became very evident to me right off the start, before I even started to research it at all. And the scariest thing about all this is that there's no treatment for parasites for humans, because when you really look at an environment from a biological standpoint, every single environment has bacteria, viruses, and parasites. And if you look at any virus, up in Ohio here we have something called West Nile, which I guess is from the Nile River, but it's transferred through mosquitoes. Okay, mosquitoes are the parasite, they're the host. So without the mosquito, if you cut off the mosquito and you kill the mosquito, you won't have a virus. You will still have a virus, but there will be no vehicle for that virus. So you won't get, the chances of you getting sick are very minimal. So this myth about people coughing and you breathing it in and getting sick is just that. It's a sick myth. So the next time you go to the doctor, ask him about parasites, and he'll probably look at you like you're crazy. And you might just want to print out a page from a biology magazine or a ninth grade biology book and bring it in and show him and remind him that we're still organisms in an environment, even though we're human. We're no different than a fish, a bear, a dog, a horse, a cattle, a pig. To an environment, that's all we are. We're just another host.